And we are live. Yes. Finally. Oh my gosh. The podcast is back. Yes, it is. But I don't know if I'm going to do it like daily because now that I'm back home, I got a lot of stuff I got to get done with adapting back to change, transitioning primary job to new primary job. It all sounds like a headache on, with how my mind amplifies everything, but I know it's probably easier than what it is. When you work the same job for 6 years, it's like all you know. Sure, I've had 2 jobs before a couple times, but when you have 2 jobs, you don't have to worry about transitioning. Oh, you got a problem with one of them? Well, just quit one. You got another job. But when it's primary, transition to a primary, it's just like, man, I don't know how that works. But luckily, the new employer, they're so awesome. They're going to help me and help understand how this whole process works and, transition, with no headache at all. It's probably not even a headache. I probably just make it a headache because that's just how my mind works. But yeah, the podcast, I promised, a lot, me and my grandma, we're going to do some podcasts while I'm up there. We're going to have a blast, blah, 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 But man, to be honest, she did not have the energy to do any of that, It was hard to talk to her. It was hard to keep conversation going. She'd fall asleep mid-conversation and wake up. She didn't even know that. Well, number one, she had trouble acknowledging that she was going to sleep, and also she had trouble acknowledging that we were just having a conversation, and just seeing her it looked like she was lost in thought, just trying to remember, but she couldn't. You can tell she was trying. You can tell it was stressing her out. That's why every time someone asked her a question or something, it's just like, guys, do you not see the shock in her face right now? Like, it's stressing her out that she can't remember. Like, just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. But I didn't say anything because anytime I bring up something mental health related or psychology related, people just want to say, oh, that's not correct. No, that's not correct. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, let y'all motherfuckers think how you want, okay? Y'all can just think how you fucking want. I'm telling you what it is. I'm telling you how it is. And I know what that look was. That was a look of shock. And yeah, so the whole time when I was there, she was closing her eyes. I was pretty repetitive, more repetitive, because usually when I'm talking to grandma, I'm repetitive as a mother anyway. But this time it wasn't more of a comforting repetitive, because with grandma I can be in a full-blown repetitive tick, and she's completely fine with it. She loves it. But see, when I was up there and all this was going on, it wasn't a repetitive tick out of comfort. It was more of being repetitive to let her know that I was there. I wasn't there for my comfort, so my tics could be put aside, Just when she would, drift off, wake up, I'd say, hey, Grandma, you still my best friend? We still best friends? We best friends forever? Best friends forever, you promise? And I would just always say that, drill it in her head, because she would smile when I would ask. She would smile. And I tell you, man, when we left today, we went to go to the hospital to go visit her. And geez, Louise pepper cheese, man. See, man, my emotions are just, they're different. I'm standing by her, I'm holding her hand, telling you, we still best friends, right? Forever and ever, blah, 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 blah. Like just making her, just smile, let her know her best friend's there. And, man, when it came to see, I did my goodbye first, but it was, just me holding her hand, and, I don't remember how I really did it, but Mama cut in, she's going to say her bye, blah, blah, blah. So, I went to the side, let Mom enjoy my sister do what they needed to do to say their goodbye. And I saw Mom go in and hug her. I didn't think I could do that. She's in the bed, she's got tubes and all that other craziness going on. And I didn't know if I could, hug. And yeah, it's a whole different ball game, man. Because whenever, you go in for that hug, geez Louise, man. Like, that's when that's when you feel the shit. And yeah, I about broke. But maintain, you gotta stay maintained, because she's the one in the hospital. She sees you freaking out. Well, goddamn, you're gonna freak her out too. So, I did the hug for, it was a pretty good hug, but I didn't want to go too long, because if I did too long, I would have been a crying mess. And, it's hard. I mean, she ain't dead. She ain't close to being dead. But, death is creeping. He's coming around the corner somewhere. You don't know when he's coming. But with the distance, I'm in Georgia. She's in Illinois. There's no telling when I'll be back up there. But, I made sure to be the best company that I could be. She looked shocked when she found out that we were leaving. But, but man, I tell you, feels good to be back in Athens. Jeez Louise, man, feels good. Even though, I'm not gonna lie, I loved visiting. I loved it. Now that I'm completely full-blown content with myself, like, geez, man, I mean, I could, like, man, if it was just me up there, and, like, I had a car, and so, because, see, I didn't have a car up there. My sister was driving my grandma's, and we went up there in my mom's car. So, I didn't have a car, so I was very dependent on everything. And, so, but, man, if, like, I had, like, my own car up there, man, because I'm telling you, it's a city that needs a lot of fucking healing. Like, no lie, it needs a lot of fucking healing. Like, just everyone just needs healing. Like, I mean, geez Louise, it's just great, So, any time that I had to, go make someone's day, like, I would do everything in my power to make someone's day, like, with what I could, with the restrictions of not having a car. Like, I remember when we ordered pizza, made that delivery woman's day, just wanting to make everyone's day, because, I don't know if y'all ever know, but when you go into other cities or other towns, you're going to notice it's a whole nother demeanor. And I tell you, when you find full-blown, like a place like Athens is home of mental health. Athens is home of mental health, period. That's why I love this town. Because people are very supportive of mental health and, the homeless. The homeless is pretty big here. I mean, everyone's just all supportive of it all. Just mental health, helping out the homeless, blah, 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 blah. I mean, geez Louise, our advantage up here in Athens, it's all great. It's a big facility compared to what I was used to when I was in Jefferson. But see, like, the demeanor in Jefferson is completely different from the demeanor in Athens. It's a whole different ballgame. Like, when I go visit at Jefferson, I can easily make a lot of people's days because they're not used to someone with a type of demeanor like mine. Just like when I went to Decatur, Illinois, like, it was just everyone. I could tell a lot of people are not used to my demeanor, and it was great because when me and my sister went to the gym, she did her workout. I was like, nah, I'm just gonna chill. I'm just gonna sit here, relax, enjoy my coffees, and just look for a conversation. And I could tell. See, the James experience is a whole different ball game. It's a whole different ball game because I am content with myself. I will tell you how I'm content with myself. You want to know how I'm content with myself? Well, let me tell you of all this stuff that my caseworker helped me understand within myself to find comfort within myself. Blah 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 blah. I could tell you everything. But there was one person that. Because you see, I approached a couple people, for conversation. Majority of it was brief, and I think it's because they're not used to someone coming in like that. But there was one woman who was cool as heck, and we had two great conversations. One when they came in, and then one on their way out. And come to find out that they were, I don't know if it was a psychiatrist or something like that, but they actually had a patient, or was it a friend or something like that, who was schizoaffective bipolar type. And I'm like, holy frick, are you kidding me? That's my diagnosis. And like, she was like, yeah, he takes advantage of the gym a lot, and that's how he maintains and stays off medicine. I'm like, that's the same thing that I do. I was explaining to her, how I use the gym as just a complete territory of constantly building myself, not just working out physically, but, like, I get into a habit of reading a chapter in my book. I practice socializing by communicating with people at the gym, communicating with familiar faces, practice listening skills, and that was one awesome thing too. The woman's communication skills were great. So I was using my listening skills as well. And, you want to continuously improve yourself. You got to remember, the gym is not just a place for you to build physically. It's there to build mentally and, communication wise, all that stuff. It's a place of building, period, So it was very relaxing, and to have a conversation in there. And, it's really great when you visit a new area. The first thing that I want to do is just make as much of an impact as I can while I'm temporarily here. Because you see, I already know the impact that I make when I enter a building or enter an environment or something. I already know the impact that I make because of how different I am, how my approach is so different, how everything is just different. And the reason why I am so fucking different is because my caseworker has taught me how to be completely comfortable with myself. When you find complete comfort within yourself, you will notice that you're going to start changing your appearance. You're going to start changing how you are. You're going to start changing your whole demeanor. Only when you go back and you find peace with all of your past bullshit. Because face it, when you have a corrupt past and you're running away from it instead of coming to peace with it, you're going to continue to be the outcome of the bad past, But when you come to terms with it and come to peace with it, well, then you're going to change into a whole different person. you're going to change into a whole different person. Depending on how bad the past was, it could be a bumpy road. You can have some big bumps, some little bumps. It's going to be all over the place. But once you get over all those bumps, you will notice you're going to be changing into a whole completely different person. But, and that's one thing that I do on a regular basis is just constantly come to peace with my past when I can. If I find something that I need to come to peace with, I'll do it real quick, get it done and over with. Because if it lingers, it's going to continue to linger. But I know the impact I make when I walk into an area. And, now that I was back in Illinois, everyone got to see who I really am. They got to see who I really was, a real James that they're not used to seeing. They're used to the James that was, just mentally out of it, wearing all black, no colors, no nothing, no empathy, no nothing, just silence usually. To now, I'm very vibrant, I'm very vocal, very expressive, and they got to see me for who I am. And, just when I got in town, I just wanted to make an impact on whoever I could, That's all I want to do. I want my life to have some kind of meaning, and I want to make an impact on, as many people as I can while I'm here. Because I'm not going to lie, man. Life's tough. Life's a lot of work. Life is a lot of suffering, It's what it is. If you're not suffering, you're not living, Because when you're dead, you can't suffer. Suffering is a form of feeling, You gotta find joy in the suffering, or you can continue to make it negative. That's your own choice. But you gotta remember, life is temporary. You might as well find happiness in the suffering. You're gonna suffer anyway. The suffering it's gonna just happen. So your best bet is just to get the most out of the suffering and find happiness and peace with it, instead of looking at it as a negative, because it's really not. Because when you're gone, you won't be able to feel. You won't be able to feel those kind of emotions. You won't be able to feel anything, But suffer now. Find peace with it. When you find peace and you come to terms with it, and I tell you, man, this has been a fucking bumpy road full of nothing but suffering for me. It's been fucked up. And the whole trip up here, man, my mind is just going sporadic. I'm just why is life stabbing me so much? It just keeps stabbing. I can acknowledge why I'm in certain obstacles. I can acknowledge why I was there. I can acknowledge this, that, and the other. But, one thing that I don't like doing, I don't like restricting who the fuck I am. I don't like doing that shit. I don't. I won't. I will not. I won't. Never, never, ever, ever. I will not. But unfortunately, on the trip, I was having to semi-restrict, just for the time being, because, a lot of people are not used to who I am as a person. Well, just one person specifically, they're not used to it. They don't know how to handle it. They get irritated, they get irritated with me, when I express my gratitude, because I do express a lot of gratitude, because that's one technique that I've learned from the Dalai Lama. To stay in the moment, you must express gratitude. Just express gratitude. It's how you stay in the moment. And, I was taking, a lot of joy from the experience of having this trip with my mom, my sister, And, I was overly expressive of gratitude, just appreciating this trip. I took the time off. We're going to go see grandma, blah, 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 blah. But with my overly expressive of gratitude, there's a lot of misunderstanding because they're not used to seeing this. They're not used to hearing stuff like this. So when someone sees or hears something that they're not used to, some will embrace and take it in and learn from it and soak in it and just want to hear more what you got to say. And then there are some where they're irritated. Why the fuck are you talking like this? Why do you keep saying that? Give us a break. Blah, 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 blah. Constantly just wanting to limit and suppress and just diminish who you are as a person. I'm trying to express who I'm trying to become. And I like to live each day as a constant form of progress. But I tell you one thing because I know why I was supposed to take the trip. I know why the universe sent me there. And it wasn't just to be there supporting my grandma. There were other obstacles that were there. See, when you get into the law of attraction, I tell you guys, you start reading on that stuff, you'll be able to identify everything on why you were here, there, and there, and there, and all over the place. Why certain obstacles are coming your way, you'll be able to identify it. So I already know. And I tell you, I really found the power of silence, because due to me having to limit my identity instead of being full-blown expressive, because, when you hang out, when you're around people, one thing that I was explaining to one of my friends was, when you're around someone who has a problem, drugs, drinking, whatever the problem may be, pills, blah, 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 When those type of people, now when they're not on it, they can be silent and they just kind of just let everyone do whatever they want. But then you got the type that are very irritated and they like to be in control of the environment and everything, to try to control to their means to make them happy. But the thing is they're making it a lot worse. And, the only thing you could do is basically, it's like you're walking on fucking eggshells. You got to remember, now, I was completely dependent. I had no car. We're all the way in a whole nother fucking state. Might as well make do with what I got to make do. So I was reading positive quotes as much as I could, just cramming positivity in my fucking head, just trying to maintain a form of peace. Now, I did reach a moment where violent thoughts came in my head because there was a predicament where, the hand was in my face and I told, stop putting your hand in my face. Stop putting your hand in my face. I don't do that to you. Blah, 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 blah. I don't do that to you, And they just kept doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. And I'm just trying to hold back, And now, keep in mind, I have not went manic in 2 years. So I maintained so fucking good. Because we were surrounded by a bunch of family, And I'm not going to let, irritation from one person just destroy. Because the thing is, when that was happening, before it even happened, there was a quote that I read. Let me see if I can pull it up here real quick. And this was before it happened, too. I read this. See, that's what I mean. You're put in obstacles for a reason, guys. And when you are put in these obstacles, you got to be able to identify. So the quote was, don't do something permanently stupid when you're temporarily upset. So basically, what I did, you know, inform them, I don't do this to you. Why are you doing this to me? I don't do this. I kept repeating, trying to get them to find understanding with what was going on and what I'm trying to say. And, they just kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it. I'm trying to spend time with family I don't see, and you're putting your hand in my face, And that's when the thoughts came in. They were just amplified. This motherfucker think they're going to do that? Motherfuckers really think they're going to do that? James, you going to really let them do that? And I'm just like, no, I'm not ruining this moment. I'm not going to. I'm just going to keep telling them like it is. And I'm just going to keep reminding them, I don't do this to you. I don't do this to you. And then, of course, they're going to try to talk to you into like, well, this is what we do. I'm just playing around with you. Blah, 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 blah. But when they do that, it's like, hey, I understand that. That's your form of playing. But I specifically informed you not to do that. So I thought, in my sarcastic mind, I thought that playing around is joy to both parties, But playing around for joy at your own expense, but not on the other person's expense, I don't think that's playing. That's more like picking on, And basically, you just want to stand your ground, continue to tell them like it is, and just show that, unfortunately, I could not get up and leave, like I said, because my caseworker, she says when stuff happens like that, James, you leave, you don't have to say anything. You just get up and leave, and if they say something, just say, I gotta go, goodbye, I'll see you guys later. That's how my caseworkers trained me how to do that, how to deal with when I start getting manic thoughts. Because that's the thing, it's been 2 fucking years, man, 2 fucking years I ain't snapped on shit. 2 fucking years. And it just had to fucking happen, and the shit gets in my brain. And I'm like, well, goddamn. I didn't do anything. There were some times I wanted to raise hell. Because I'm telling you, then this is how it always goes. When the shit gets in your head, it's there. It's there. So now you're going to have to shove it down. You're going to have to shove it in. You're going to have to push it away. You're going to have to shove it somewhere else in your brain. And try to make stuff to take place of it. And it's so hard. Because that mania is coming. That mania is coming. You're having to suppress it. And 2 fucking years, man. 2 fucking years, man. But then, it did. And then it escalated even more after we were done spending time with all that family, And then that's when I just told them, listen, it's time to grow up. Like, you kept putting your hand in my face. They were making a big deal about how they couldn't put their hand in my face, and they were saying, oh, he was being a bully, blah, 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 and did a little bit. And it's like, you put your hand in my face. I told you not to. Just making a big uproar over it, blah, 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 And, that's when I just told him, listen, you need to grow up. You need to grow up. Like, acting like that's not cool. You need to grow up, blah, 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 And, I hope that they got that message, because I had to mentally battle. So, positive quote overload, I'm completely dependent here. Completely dependent I can't do what my caseworker would want me to do, which is leave. I couldn't. I was stuck. But guess what? The mania did not come. It did not come. And the thoughts were there, but I didn't express it. I didn't express nothing, But I did inform the person when they kept bringing it up. I told them, listen, I haven't gone manic in 2 years. I have not gone manic in 2 years. And it's not starting today. It's not starting today. See, that's one thing I do is I vocalize what I'm trying to accomplish. When you vocalize what you're trying to accomplish, you bring it to life. But I tell you, it was tough. It was fucking tough, man, because this guy right here talking, yeah, I used to not be a nice person. I used to be a very hateful person. I was not nice at all. I came a long fucking way. That's why when I tell you I haven't been manic in 2 years, that's a fucking accomplishment. That's a fucking accomplishment. So, So I'm so fucking glad to be back home, back to Athens, back in my car. I can leave when the fuck I want, I can go to the gym when the fuck I want, I can just do everything, But I toughed it out. It didn't destroy anything. I still had a great visit with family. I didn't destroy anything or nothing, because of one person. I was not going to allow one person, never ever, guys, never ever let one person just destroy your experience. Don't do it. Don't give them that kind of power, because when you give them that kind of power, they're not going to learn from what they're doing. It's when you stand your ground and you completely vocalize what you need to say, like how I did. Now, some of the stuff, I don't know if I said anything, that would cause any kind of karma on my part. Sorry, I'm getting the hiccups. But I think I handled it all pretty well. After the whole predicament, because it was 2 days of dealing with stuff like that. And, and that's when I just, just suppressed and just stayed focused on just maintaining positivity. Visit as much as I possibly could, but also not forget my mental state of mind. I couldn't neglect it. I needed to get rid of it, because when mania is there in the head, you're basically a fucking ticking time bomb. I was basically, it was 2 days. I don't even remember what day, the very beginning of it happened, because I remember I texted my mom about it, I expressed the misery and everything that was going on with me, and, just expressing it all, and, no response, but, she read it. I know she did, and, I just had to deal, kept telling myself, I'm not here for me. I'm here for my grandma. But then later on, I've come to find out there were some other reasons why I was there as well. Why the trip went as is and all that stuff. Why certain obstacles were there. You got to remember, guys, a lot of the times when you leave and go somewhere else and blah, 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 you got a big old group of parties and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. You could be experiencing some stuff that's there for the other person to learn in their life. You can be subject to what they need to learn within themselves. And the thing is like, you start to puzzle piece everyone who is involved in this obstacle. That's what it all is. I'm telling you guys, law of attraction, seriously look into it. I mean, it'll blow your mind at the stuff, but, left on a positive note, gave hugs, told everyone I loved them, blah, 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 even with the one that caused it all, with my head, left on a positive note with them too. Big hug, love you, blah, blah, blah. And I kept going, That's how you got to do it. That's how you got to do it. You don't want to stoop down to someone else's level. You never do. Do not do that, guys, because what you're doing is you are depreciating your value to go down to their level. And I'm going to tell you this right now, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Because I tell you, when my manic episodes happen and I'm full-blown anger mode, full-on aggression, like y'all motherfuckers better leave because I'm fueled by hatred right now. My old me is completely out. I want to keep him in his coffin. Keep the old me in his coffin. I want to keep that coffin nailed shut. I know he's going to be in my head for the rest of my life. But when the thoughts are that potent, in my head, he's opened the coffin. He's waiting to be completely... He's waiting to take over, basically. And the thing is, let me explain it to you guys. When I am in a manic episode, I get aggressive. I get extremely aggressive. I'm very mean. I cuss a lot. My dad says I talk like a drunk person, but I'm not drunk. But I get really belligerent. The thing is, too, is like you feel it, too. Like, when I was talking to my uncle, explaining about it, because, he asked me some questions about anger, blah, 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 and I was like, oh, I used to have problems with that. And, I would explain to him, how I would have heart problems. After severe mania, or sometimes it'll happen during the mania, too, where I'll feel the heart, and, after I done went off and just went off completely, I'll feel my heart, just aching, I would feel it. And that takes you down, too. That takes you down, because you're just like, holy fuck, this hurts. My heart, guys, it hurts. It hurts, But that's the thing, man, I'm honestly glad that it does that, because with the amount of anger and the amount of hatred that I used to have, I could really hurt someone. I know that I could. And the thing is back in the day when I would have severe episodes, there was no empathy there. There was nothing. Just full-blown hatred and full-blown anger. When you don't have no empathy, and you just got full-blown anger and hatred coming at you, that is a force to be reckoned with. But the thing is that type of energy is limited in a mortal body, These bodies are temporary. They can only take so much power. So when you got all that adrenaline, all that energy going in, you're depreciating the body. You're not going to, because I remember when my mania was really bad when I was in high school, I would get severe dizziness. Oh, I'll be cussing like a motherfucker. Oh, I'll be cussing. I'll tell you, I'm about to fucking kill you. I'm fucking serious. When I can stand up straight, I'm going to fucking kill you. My mania was that fucking bad. But the thing is I could never get up. Because it was that bad when I was in high school. And my dizziness would be so fucking bad. I couldn't even get up. My body the amount of power that I am trying to exert from my body, the body cannot handle it. It's too limited. You can't do that, James. You are a mortal man. What do you think you're doing? You can't exert that much. So what you doing? You getting dizzy? It felt like vertigo too sometimes too. It would feel like the floor would be grabbing me, and pulling me down. And sometimes I remember having a severe manic episode. I'll never forget this one. I remember my family was in the front room, and I'm just holding on to the countertop, just trying to keep balance, and I'm just yelling my ass off. I don't remember what it was over, and I remember Mom saying, "James, you're overreacting. You're overreacting. Come on, you're overreacting." And all that was doing was just amplify it, and I couldn't do anything. Like, I couldn't even lift my head up. Like, that's how bad the mania was. So, with me finding a bunch of peace within myself and stuff, I don't want to destroy any of that. So, 2 years, the thoughts have never been potent like that. He's been in his coffin. He's been resting. Sometimes there'll be a faint echo in my brain every now and then, just trying to tempt me to open up the coffin. But I'm like, nah, buddy, you're going to stay shut. You're going to stay there and you're going to be good. But, he thought he was going to come back. He didn't. He did not. I know he means well. He was a defense mechanism to an old environments. He did his part to protect me, to make me feel confident and, powerful with who I was in the environment that I was in, with the situations that I was in, blah, blah, blah. He was there. He did his part. But now it's time for new me to come in. It's time for new me to come in. New me to restore who I should be and who I should have been a long fucking time ago. Just completely restore. And I don't want old me to destroy anything that I have fucking accomplished. I don't want that. I've worked too fucking hard to get here. Too fucking hard to get here. 5 fucking years, man. 5 fucking years of my life through therapy and a fucking caseworker. And I will be damned. I'm not going back. I want to set the example for my caseworker that I'm willing to do it independent. I'm good. And I've been doing it. And man, if only I could tell her. Because that's another thing too. Because see, one thing, if I ever am to go back to Advantage. And once this whole COVID stuff does, surpass and everything, I am going to go back to my caseworker. Just to give her an update, all that other stuff. Just update her on everything. How much I have fucking accomplished. But like, if I ever have to go back to Advantage, like have to, not, have to as in like, holy crap, I'm getting really bad. I need to go back. I want to go back for the greater good to continue to progress. I got a whole branch of different field that I want to get into, and I know my caseworker would be the advantage that I need to further progress and all that. That's why I'm so glad that I got this job opportunity, because that job opportunity is going to be what I need to get my foot in the door, period. But, I want to go in because of good. I don't want to go in because of bad. And then I don't want to hear my caseworker say, "James, what's happening? Why are you back? Is everything okay?" I want her to say, "James, wow, you're back. You need to update me on everything. You look great, blah, 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 blah." I want to hear something like that, I want to be able to update them on how much good I have done, how much I've done independent, how much I have accomplished, how much I have continued to trial and error, and then I finally got something like yes, I did this, Just to hear my caseworker say, "James, I'm so proud of you." See, there's one thing that I always do is I tell people how proud I am of them. Because that's something I always wanted to hear as a kid, proud of you. The thing is, growing up, they only throw that to you in once every blue moon, And they wonder why kids are so fucking corrupt when they fucking grow up, man. But, I throw it out there all the time because that's something I wanted to hear growing up. Because you don't know who's still healing from their childhood. A lot of people are. A lot of, majority. Hell, all of them. All of them are recovering something from their childhood. Whether it's minimum or severe. They're recovering. Some form, some way. They're recovering. But, came a long fucking way, I tell you that. Came a long fucking way. I won't go back. I won't. But I will tell you this, though. Was the obstacle. This was one of the obstacles. This is what I mean, guys. Law of attraction. You'll be able to identify everything. I was supposed to get those thoughts. It was a complete test. The person who put the hand in my face and all that stuff, they were supposed to do that to test me. To see, are you ready for the next level, James? Are you ready for the next level? Not only was I a lesson for them to learn from as well through their actions, but it was also a lesson for me to test if I can suppress the mania, if it were to be that potent. And I suppressed it well. Silence was my best friend. Silence and positive quotes. And that's what I just did. And I just stayed silent. Of course, I was still, being very friendly to my cousin's kids. They were so fucking precious. And, that was one thing that I was, using to overly take over that mania, to push it back even further by, just being a solid example in front of the youth, right in front of me, just letting them know I'm still here. I'm still very happy to see you, just pushing that mania back as far as I can, Because it's not today, mania. You go back there and you stay back there. And it did. Of course, it was prodding, the rest of the time. Because that's what I mean. It lingers. With mania, it lingers. If you're not expressing it, it's lingering. So you got to do everything to defuse the bomb, basically. And once the bomb is diffused, you're fine. Now that I'm back in Athens, back in my car, I'm back in complete control. I'm not fucking dependent on bullshit, Yeah, I'm pretty fine. I'm feeling pretty fine. But, everything is a lesson. Everything is a test. Every day is a good day because you're learning something from it. There is some obstacle that is in front of you that you need to be able to identify. I can identify all mine like a professional. Because, I've been reading the Law of Attraction books for I don't even know how long it's been since I've been reading all that stuff. But I got me a new book, The Science of Self-Realization. And I can't wait to crack it open and, get to reading on that. Because, guys, I hate to break it to you. Your life is inside of you. What you need to accomplish is inside of you. And the only way you're going to accomplish it is if you're able to identify. But guess what? If you have let society sculpt you, mold you, create your identity, you're never going to find why you were put here until you let go of what is not who you are. Period. You're going to be tested by people. Because you got to be ready to go up to the next level. You've lived your life as this person. Now you're wanting to change direction. Life is going to be like, well, I'm going to put you to the test and see if you're ready to even go even a step in that direction. Because I don't know who you think you are. But if you're ready, you're going to tough it out. And that's exactly what the fuck I did. Sat with my grandma while she was suffering. Dealt with a hand in my face, which eventually put me in with manic thoughts. You know, there was no mania though. I held it down, and I kept the best experience possible that I could with having that in my head the rest of the time, you know, because that's with it. It don't leave until you express it. And the thing is I was not going to express it. I was going to put it back where it needed to go. And I still had a great visit. Didn't let it get to me. Yeah, it was tough. Yeah, I did, with the whole experience with my grandma. See, the mania and stuff that didn't happen with my grandma. My grandma was done sent to the ER after, she was done sent to the ER. I think it was that day that we sent her. It was before all that stuff happened too, though. She got sent to the ER. But, see. Because, I don't think, that's how the universe works, too. The universe, it makes you, now you're going to do your part here, James. Okay, you're going to do what you need to do here. And then eventually that obstacle is going to be finished. Then we're going to put you in a new obstacle. That's how life is. Life wants you to focus on one obstacle at a time. Now, sometimes it'll juggle you. We're going to put two obstacles. But I think, life knows how severe my manic episodes were and how severe, my grandma is to me, So I put it into consideration because, I've been doing good in life. I've been doing good. I've been progressing well. It gave me a little slack with this tough obstacle because I feel, one of these damn days I'm going to have to bury my best friend, I was literally sitting with my best friend while she was suffering, While she couldn't even acknowledge that we were having a conversation, because she'd fall asleep mid-conversation, That's tough. And, one of these days I know I'm going to have to bury her. I'm going to have to. One day I'm going to have to. But I think before life can hand me, the rewards that I have worked hard for, it's going to test you to see if you're ready. And it tested me with the manic episodes. And I accomplished it pretty good. I think I did. I think I handled it pretty well. And when we got home, Mom was like, James, are you sure you want to go home? It's like, because it's already 3 a.m. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go home. Yeah, I'm going to go home. Like, I wanted to leave. I wanted to go home. Like, I just needed to regain my energy. Because I read a quote, and I felt it. I felt this quote. And it was, what is it? People have drained my cup. So I have to take a break to go refill my cup because you can't pour from an empty cup. And I was like, oh my gosh, I feel that. I feel that right freaking now. Because when you deal with manic thoughts, that is draining. It drains you and depletes you until that bomb goes off. I wouldn't wish it on anybody to experience that, So, Mom was like, James, you don't gotta go, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no, Mom, I want to go. I just needed a break. I need a break, Gonna relax and, thinking about going to the gym, but, I might just do it tomorrow because I want to do a lot tomorrow anyway. So, I might as well just do the podcast, upload this, and, just go from there. Because, I want to get my hair touched up. My uncle, he was telling me about watches, because I got to get a new stopwatch anyway. But he loves watches, and I've learned so much about watches from him. I mean, I've never heard someone talk so much and know so much about watches. But he educated me on so much about watch. He actually inspired me. I'm thinking about, go look for a decent watch. Because I need to buy a stopwatch anyway, because I use a stopwatch on my brakes at work. But the thing is, the battery is going out on it, and it's not working. Like, sometimes it works, and then it'll go blank screen, like it won't have anything on it. And I'm like, oh, hey, seriously, do I gotta purchase another one? So I gotta do that. So I'm like, I might as well just go look for something. Of course, I'm not gonna get no expensive motherfucker. No way. This is something simplistic. I might go to Walmart and go look at what they got. But just want to. Oh, and my other uncle though, he does his beard really, really good, and he does it with a razor. He don't use clippers or anything. He uses a razor. And I'm like, wow. And I mean, it looks like he looks like he got out of a barber shop. I'm like, man, I want to be that good. I want to be able to do that with my facial hair. Like, so I want to, because that's one thing you got to do, guys. When you are in whatever environment you are in, you want to make sure that you are leaving inspired in some way. You want to make sure that you are learning in some way. If you're not learning anything, or you're not inspired by anything in the environment that you're in, well, guess what? It's time to change the environment. Unless you are the one doing the inspiring and the teaching, well, it's time for you to change the environment. So maybe you can get on that. Because believe it or not, even with people that you can help out with, I've been inspired by people that I've helped out with. Just by their work ethic, and everything that they're putting to give their like 120%. I'm like, geez Louise, Peppa Cheese, you inspiring me. Kind of like my mom. My mom is like my dang inspiration for dang tie-dye. And I'm the one that got her into it, My mom's like, she shows like 200%. I'm like, geez, Mom, you're freaking awesome. You're like a prodigy child for tie-dye. Because I ain't even that good. I just use it for like a therapeutic, splash some colors, fold it how I want to fold it. I don't care. My mom watches those YouTube tutorials. She gets really into it and takes notes and all that stuff. And I'm just like, wow, that's very inspiring. But, law of attraction, guys. I can't advertise it enough. But, yeah, the book that I'm going to get into is Science of Self-Realization. And that is one thing that you got to accomplish, guys. If you want to find out who you are as a person and everything, that is one thing you're going to have to look into is yourself. Because you got to remember, your life starts from yourself. Starts from within. Not what the group says, not what the outside world says. Everything is inside of you. Everything is inside of you. But anyway, guys, it's 35. I'm going to sign out now. And we are off the air. I am off, yes. Stay positive, guys. Peace.